Ah, mm, I don't think I said out. I would not trade the open. I don't care how good the setup is. Man, it's happening at 8 o'clock. Mm, 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 okay. Okay. Mm, Oh well. All right. So let's start. Let's actually get this CFTC data in. Hmm, No, no, I'm not gonna do that. August 26th. I don't think I missed any weeks, but okay. All right, guys. This document is capturing the CFTC data that are positions that the institutions are bound by law to release. And what this document does is capture their positions for the upcoming week. So, so as always, we're going to capture the Nasdaq. We're going to capture the Nasdaq and wow, okay. Wow. Huh, wow. That's actually so wow. We actually could see a either price trading in a range this week or because right now we're about neck and neck right now. 55% long, 45% short this week. So we can definitely see the market trade in a range. I don't Yeah, we have less than the average. We have 15,000 contracts net long. So that's half of what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know what that could mean. I don't know if we see the market go higher this week. We could potentially see lower. We do have CPI coming up this week. So that could play a part in why the market is not putting their money to work this week. Seeing a lot less contracts being traded. So yeah. Hmm. So it looks like the commercials have increased their longs this week and decreased their shorts, which we know that they inverse and they're always hedging. So this week the market, or at least the commercials, thinking that they needed to add additional longs to protect their positions, and we're also seeing the market decrease on their longs. That's a significant drop in longs right there. That is very big. The average is 60% long, and that's well under average. So I don't think we're going to see a rally this week. And if it is, we'll probably see a pop and drop from the market this week. Mm, mm. So let's go see what's going on this week. Filter out all the crap. Yeah, so we don't have anything tomorrow. We don't have anything Tuesday that we have to pay attention to. So I guess it's going to be one of those special weeks where PPI comes out before CPI. So PPI is definitely going to play a big part going into next week, and especially with tariffs. Now PPI, now people are at least the market is speculating how is the producers are going to pass on the price of tariffs onto the customer, because we all know that the producer is not going to eat the cost. Maybe they will, but that's not good business practice to eat cost. So that's depending on what this number comes out as, we could see, or we should expect to see a big reaction from this PPI number. And also CBI, we're going to see a market reaction from this as well. The market is definitely going to pay attention to year over year. So if year over year comes in at expectation, then if we see a dump or pump with PPI, depending on what CPI says, we could see a continuation or a recovery. And on Friday, it looks like we don't necessarily have anything. We have the Michigan consumer sentiment, consumer inflation expectation, but I'm pretty sure after PPI and CPI, the market participants Friday will probably, we'll see what happens Friday, because we have two big news back to back. So that's definitely something that we should keep our eyes out for. And what we could also look at is we can kind of see what market participants were doing at the close of the session. It looks like they were buying puts. Let's see if I can actually. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay. So we've actually, let me do this because we really don't need that data anymore. All right, so let's see what they're doing this upcoming week. So let me see if y'all guys can see that. Okay, yeah, y'all guys should be able to see that. So it does look like puts were going into the close, or at least they put puts on spies and the Qs expiring on the 8th. So they expect these puts to print by tomorrow. We have some September 8th expiry, September 10th, 12th. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of puts come in, and they're sweeping these puts as well. And they expect this to expire, or they expect price to get to about what, 4? Hmm. So it looks like here. So let's see. I mean, we are seeing some calls, but this was during the day. I'm interested to see what happened around the close of the session. And it looks like when price was around 575, people were buying strikes for 570, 569, 560 on the Qs. So they expect, or at least these, and you can see that they spent $100,000 of premium on this, which is not necessarily big money. I mean, that's not necessarily big, but I mean, if somebody's throwing this much money at a short-term expiry, I guess we should pay attention to it because this is short-term. This could be gambling, but uh, we did hit this the biggest gamma level on the Qs, and from this level, we got a double top rejection, and we also have a dark pool print right here that's lining up as if it could be potentially resistance. So a lot of things are lining up for a lower move down. We're getting the commercials to adding to their long positions. We have the institutions reducing their long positions and adding to shorts. 570 there was a lot of single print at 570. That's why there was 6 million here, but now it says that it's about 3.5 million. So about half of the positions that were sitting here at 570 has been filled, and obviously they were profitable here, obviously. So 570 on the Qs will definitely be an area of interest. That's not financial advice. It does look like it's going to be an area of interest, but these guys are thinking that price could potentially go all the way down to 560, which, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, look at that. 560 is the biggest gamma level, or at least it was. And right now, until the market reopens, it's the biggest gamma level going into the close. So we'll see. I don't think the market gets down here, but I mean, it doesn't matter what I think. The market does whatever it wants. So market does whatever it wants. So we'll see. Right now, at least on the Nasdaq, I do expect for price to pull back into this small little range right here. So if we can get this filled before the session ends, because I won't leave this position running overnight, but if this thing can get filled, yeah. If price can fill this target, then we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Yeah. Mm. And that's very interesting as well. I just looked at the volume for the Nasdaq, and it looks like we have over 100,000 contracts being traded for the Nasdaq right now, and we got 7 more days on this contract. So that means that we probably have quad witching next week potentially. We have 7 more days. So that means that we're going to switch over to the December contract. And I'm pretty sure the December contract is probably higher. I would not be surprised if it's not. Hmm. This is the 1 hour chart, and this thing is looking super bearish. So that was the move down from that area of supply last week, which I definitely overlooked when it was literally on my chart. I fought against this momentum down on Friday. And appears I shouldn't have. $7.90. 7.14. I mean, I doubt that that will be it right there. Mm. Mm. Shit, look at that. Look at that. And what's up, Jack? Look at that. Look at 410, 49, 250. Michael, no. Uh, this is an application called Black Box Stocks, and it costs $100 a month. $100 a month. But I will say that this tool is very helpful, especially if you're unsure what kind of environment that we're trading in. If we're trading in a positive environment, then your focus should be buying the dips, and vice versa when we're in a negative environment. So this tool has definitely helped us stay on the right side of the market for sure. And these gamma levels are definitely legit because if price is sitting at a gamma level, it's highly likely that we will see a reaction, especially if we have a dark pool sitting around the area. That's what these orange bars represent, is dark pool levels. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, what's up, K Trader? What's up, Alpha? I don't know, man. I feel that we will probably get a deeper pullback because we kind of rejected I feel like we'll probably come back to around maybe 66 maybe, but we could bounce at 80 maybe. Well, okay, I guess I'll show you what I'm looking at the higher time frame on the Nasdaq. Uh, I'm pretty sure price is. I mean, there's got a little range right here. Price will probably pull back to one of these EMAs. Yeah, no problem. Hmm. I was. Well, no, I wasn't. Gold has definitely been. I feel. I don't know what it is about gold, man. I really don't know what it is about gold that has me overthink it sometimes. I feel like I might do the same thing to gold that I did with Bitcoin because I don't want to complain about gold being a very straightforward instrument. But before the stream, I was actually talking to myself about what it is about gold that I can be afraid of, just for the lack of better words. And I think the biggest thing about gold is that because I have a great understanding of how to trade gold, there's no challenge. And my biggest concern is if I really want to make money, then all I really have to do is trade gold. I don't even have to trade the Nasdaq. I don't have to trade ES. I can just trade gold and make endless money. But then my biggest concern was like, well, shit, what am I gonna do after that? At least with the Nasdaq, it feels more like fate or a gamble. Yeah, I have a good idea of how to trade the Nasdaq, but at the same time, she can fuck you over. She doesn't have to stop at like on Friday. She ran through like 3 levels of support before she finally bounced and found one. And then she bounced as if she bounced at the previous areas of support. And that what kind of makes the Nasdaq challenging because you can trade at an area of support, but then at the same time, you may not get it. But with gold, she has no choice but to stop. And I think it's just too easy. That's why I stopped trading Bitcoin. It was just too easy. All I got to do was short the damn thing. It took no skill, no thought, no nothing. It pulls back into resistance, you short it, and you got paid. And it's very similar to gold. Now, I don't, but then there's that contradiction of, I don't want gold to change. I enjoy trading it. Mm. But I haven't taken a loss on gold in a while, but I'm gonna knock on wood on that. I haven't lost on gold in a while. Mhm. But I don't want to lose on gold. Contradiction there. Mm. If you traded the ES Friday and trusted the ES orb short, when I say that the market never looked back on the ES, it did not look back on this drop. It did not look back on this drop. This right here was probably the biggest trade of last week on the ES. This down move right here. Aside from this up move, I mean, I guess Thursday and Friday. Well, technically, I mean, Thursday's move was a continuation of Friday's move, and then we saw that big move in one session. So this move up took about 2.5 sessions, and then we had this big drop back into support on the ES here. With size, man, this shit at the orb low with size. This right here with like what a 10 lot, 9 lot. Actually, let's look at that. I mean, how much is that? I know with the 9 lot, let's just do a 10 lot. I mean, that can't be right. Yeah, so this move, half of this move was $15,000. Half of it. The entire move on ES, the low of that was 532. 532 minus 452 times 50. Shit, if you caught on one contract, that was $4,000 top from the orb low to the bottom. And on hold on, did I already do that already? Shit, this entire move right here was $40,000 on a 10 lot. $40,000 on the ES in one trade, just holding it from the orb low to the bottom. And that's just what the ES is. One good trade will make your entire month on the ES. You just have to be patient for it and wait for it. You know, I said that same shit to myself, Rootkit, or Rudkit. I said that, I was like, dude, that's the point of making money. It's not challenging. I mean, at this point in my life is not the money. I mean, my career, I make enough money in my career. So this trading thing is more of a hobby than anything. Money, I'm like, shit, all the payouts that I've had is still in my business account and I haven't touched none of it. So it's not, I guess I'm at that point in my, guess I'm at that point just looking for challenge. Looking for a challenge. Looking to keep my mind sharp. Now, obviously, if I was in a different situation, then probably, yeah, the making money part. But they say that you make like if you make, well, this probably changed due to inflation and tariffs, but they say that magic number is $75,000. If you make that much, I mean, life doesn't get better past $75,000 a year. You can afford everything that can make you happy at $75,000. And I think that's pretty true. I think that's very close to the truth because, yo, congratulations on that, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the only, yeah. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, Alfred. Like I said, that's why, I will move forward for sure. But that was that, I think I've shared this with you guys, but that was the biggest reason why I was self-sabotaging. Because I just have this, I don't want to use that word fear, but there is a great concern that, because you know, like how those and when people just make money and then, I mean, they don't have no meaning or purpose. That's my biggest concern, is becoming one of those people. And so because that's my biggest concern, I self-sabotage a lot. So I don't ever get to that point to where it's like, oh man, what's the point of doing this? I'm a bajillionaire. What's the point of doing that? I'm a bajillionaire. I don't want to get to that point. And because I have strong emotions tied to that. I self sabotage once I get to a certain point, so I can start over again. My biggest concern is that the fire will be extinguished. I don't ever want that to happen. But I might have to ramp it up because shit, I'm not thinking about this daughter that I have that's gonna grow up and want everything. I'm gonna still tell her no, but there's some things I'm gonna have to tell her yeah, and then those things are gonna cost a lot of goddamn money. Honestly, I really wonder what's driving an Elon Musk, a Jeff Bezos. I wonder what's driving them because shit, they've accomplished so much. It would probably take people several lifetimes to accomplish what they've accomplished. A Donald Trump. What drives these people? I guess if I really think about it, because this answer popped into my head when I asked that question, the answer that it gave me is legacy. They're building a legacy. And so, if that's the answer that I gave myself, then maybe that should be my focus. Building a legacy, building something. I think we're doing great work here on this stream. I think we're doing great work, but we can definitely be better for sure. We can be better. I can grow a lot more. I can expand. I can do a lot more. That's why I'm implementing so much stuff like these data points and collecting data because I'm a big data guy. So shit, let's implement that in the stream. Let's collect this data. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to implement collect all this data and build predictive models using the data that we collect. That's my next project, or at least that's my current project. I've done the groundwork this weekend, kind of looked at how I can implement that using Power BI or some sort of database. It's going to probably be something that I work on until the end of this year and probably have a working product probably by next year. At least that will be the goal if everything runs smoothly. I guess even though we don't particularly need it. Yeah, love or hate Trump, man. Shit. Love or hate that guy, he's definitely has done a lot. I mean, he's been doing it longer than Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos combined. He's been doing it longer. I would say that he is actually the originator. He's probably the longest running successful person that we've had so far. Because you got to remember, everybody loved Donald Trump originally until he became president. And now majority of Americans hate him. Or at least majority of people hate him. I mean, everybody has their reasons, obviously. But it just goes to show that they'll love you one day and they'll forget that they loved you and they'll just hate you. Some people don't know why they hate him, but they just because one of their friends hate him, well, I have to hate him too. Now, like I said, there's people that have really great reasons to hate him, but I'm speaking for those that don't. Those are just because somebody told them to hate him, they hate him, and that's who I'm speaking to or speaking about. But he's definitely been the longest running successful person. So I wonder what, yeah, yeah. Do I accept the mission though? But kind of going back to yeah. Yeah, politics is definitely a I guess it's I mean politics isn't nothing new. I mean even being cavemen in the jungle, living underneath the sea, living in the clouds, wherever people congregate, there will always be politics. They will always be human emotion. And it seems that no matter where it's at, it's always the same. You can be an alien, you can be a vampire, a werewolf, whatever. It just seems like the politics is always the same everywhere. People have a pursuit of power. People want to be noble and be judges and judge those of crimes. There'll be bribery. There'll be lobbying. There'll be someone that's trying to build a legacy. So kind of it's always the same. It's the same story always being told. And it's on replay everywhere. There'll always be a conflict of interest. And that's usually where the falling out begins, of course. Of course. Because the biggest conflict of interest for a lot of people was that um, it was an equivalent exchange. Those that came from foreign lands, yeah, they were going to be mistreated and misused and used as slave labor because they had no other choice. But the equivalent exchange in that was that, well, shit, you know what? If I was back home doing the same thing, I'm making 10 times, even though I'm getting paid pennies in the dollar here, I'm still making more than how much I was making back home, probably doing the same thing. And we're going to start off small. I'm going to bring my family over here. We're going to build and we're going to flourish. And that's what a lot of immigrants came to the United States and have done. They started small and they've grown and they bring their family on and they make millions and they live happy and rich lives. And that's what a lot of immigrants have done. So there was always an equivalent exchange. But obviously, with this administration, they're doing away with that. And a lot of people that were dependent on cheap labor now have to hire expensive, lazy, inefficient, undertrained, undertrained Americans, which is a conflict of interest. Because I understand what this administration is trying to do. There's so much unemployment, and if cheap labor is grabbing up majority of the jobs, it's just going to look bad on the administration. So they had to cut that shit down, unfortunately. But then the Americans that are here that could potentially fill those jobs because of social media and TikTok and I guess how they see themselves in society. I mean, nobody wants to do these hard laborious jobs. It requires them to actually wake up early, be consistent. I mean, Americans are majority of Americans have TikTok brain or and are too far gone. They expect to be taken care of by the government. And that's why this administration had to cut down on the government handouts because people were like, no, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to just sit at home and collect government assistance. And it just is pretty obvious when you look at it from an like a from a bird's eye view. You're cutting off government assistance. There is now jobs, the cheap labor, or the not the cheap labor, but jobs that are physically demanding are now becoming available. And I feel it's a way to push those people that has just been comfortable sitting on their ass into those jobs. And that's obviously what the plan is. We just don't know if it's just going to work because the entitlement is too strong. I mean, yeah, if somebody needs to survive, they'll probably work that job until they can find something else, I guess. But they're not going to do a good job. They're not going to work as hard as someone where their life depends on it and they got people that depend on them. It's just not going to be the same quality of work. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but that's why a lot of the farms are facing going under and they probably have to sell to the government, and the government will probably allow them to keep their farms and work, but the land and the farm will be owned by the government. That's probably part of the plan, maybe. Who knows? But if there's one thing that I could change about the market is it's the first part of the session where the market is just not doing anything and it's just floating. It would be nice if the market can move during, at least make decent moves during all the sessions so we can make money and be consistent. If I can make my money overnight consistently, I would do it. But my biggest concern when trading overnight is that because there's not a lot of movement, I may run into a problem where I may have to, or at least my target doesn't get hit until maybe the London or early, or yeah, the London session. And I might have to hold a position going into New York. And going to sleep with with a Nasdaq position on is not the most funnest thing in the world. Mm, I really don't know what the heck gold wants to do. It seems like that drop from Friday's session got a continuation. It pulled right back into this little area, and then we got that drop. It wasn't even 10 points. And then it stopped everybody out and then dropped. I think it's like 42. I mean, I still would have been in this. I still would have been in it. I mean, if I took this short at that retest, I still would have been in it. I just would have hated to have, and this is something else that I would have hated that. Almost getting my target hit just for it to come back up to break even and then come back down and hit my target. I would have hated that. And this is my biggest concern while trading overnight because of these low volume moves. I guess we could talk about that. Well, I've been going over the NA meetings lately, and I probably have to actually let me fix this. Let me fix this. So Friday. I had my thought I had my but I guess I didn't. So 902. Yeah. 691. All right. So that was definitely a bearish trend going into Friday's session. So we had 211 points to the upside. And we had this big drop on Friday. Well, no, I'm not going to count that because that didn't actually do anything. So 902. I think the low of the session was like 505 or something like that. 902 minus 5. All right, so we saw points to the upside at 397 points to the downside. And then we had that bounce going into the close of the session. So 505. And the high of that candle was 696. Right, so about a 191 point bounce. Okay. Okay. Mm, okay. We're starting to have a lot of bear. I mean, the crazy thing is that we've had a lot of bearish days, and yet the bulls are still in control. Like the bears should definitely be embarrassed by this. We've had so many bearish days, and just the bears just cannot hold this move whenever they create the move itself. So it just goes to show that the bears absolutely suck. But last week, I think we had 2 wins on the and then we had a lot of price levels not being tested. My goal for next week is to probably to find. So usually with the NA meetings, at least the goal is I'm looking for extremes on both sides of the market, and this is for obvious reasons. Last year, the market would hit major supply and major support in the same day. But it doesn't appear that we're getting that same price movement anymore. I think we had two big winners last week. Yeah, just two. And we had four losses during the NA meetings. So my goal for this week is to, because we had a lot of great trades, just miss the target. Like I would miss the target by 10 points, or I missed the target by 5 points or a point or something like that. And a lot of good trades passed up because it didn't fully pull back into an area of support or supply. And when in the second go into the area, it just didn't hold the second time. So it seems like the meta with Nasdaq is kind of changing. At least that's what the data suggests. The Nasdaq isn't making the big moves anymore. It's still making big moves, but it's just not making the big moves that we're used to from last year. Because the couple of, I mean, they were making 200, 300 point moves at the max, but we're starting to see more 150, 170 price movements. When we got an 87 point leg, we're starting to see the Nasdaq kind of calm down and go back into making 100 point moves versus the 2, 3, 500 point moves that she used to make back in the day. So we're definitely see the Nasdaq calming the hell down. So yeah, my goal definitely this week is going to probably look for more, not necessarily major, but probably put in some minor support and resistance as well. Because it seems like those are getting hit more now. And depending on who you ask, this right here was a break of structure right here on the Nasdaq. And it's just now retesting it. You can see that it breaks up, pulls back into that small little area and break out. And then it uses this area again to break down. And price pulling back into this area, and we're going to probably see a pullback. So I know it's highly unlikely for the bears to hold this thing, and it takes out this low. That's highly unlikely because, like I said, we're still bullish overall. We're still making higher highs and we're still making higher lows. So we're still bullish. But I was beating myself up after the stream about this obvious sweep of liquidity because, I mean, we talked about it. I just didn't trust the Bears. It would just be nice if the Bears can just follow through for once. We did have all the signs that I look for. A uncontrolled move into a major area of supply. There was no price action here. So if price pulled back, I mean, there was nothing for price to fall on top of. I thought we was going to probably see a bigger, the Bulls kind of step up in this, but I mean, now that I'm thinking about it and now that I'm talking out loud, it was kind of foolish of me to even think that the Bulls were going to actually buy this thing, because how often does the market does this where the same way it comes up is going to be the same way that it goes down? I mean, it always does that. I don't know why I fought that. I don't know why. The Nasdaq makes me do crazy things. Even I don't know why that didn't even make no sense. I guess it's just a hope that it could do it, but it swept this area right here, and then we saw that drop. Because I guess if we saw price find support above this area, all time highs is just right around the corner here at 24.90 or 24.69. It's right around the corner, and that 24 level, that was resistance for a very long time. Price kept coming back into this area and rejecting, and then when it finally rejected, it never came back to it. Mm. So I guess the question is, do we see a retest going higher first, or do we see the market kind of chop, maybe pull back a little bit more until we get PPI on Wednesday? Hopefully that's not the case because we don't have anything for the next 2 days. It would suck if the market literally chopped for 2 days. That would absolutely suck. Mm, mm. Yeah, I don't know what the heck that was. And that's why it's just kind of dangerous to always do that. Mm, okay. I guess I guess an area to look out for a short and see how the market reacts is a retest of this orb low. Let's see what the market does right there. Let's see. Okay, this is where price failed. This is where the buyers failed, and then they broke structure. They came back in, and then we saw that move down. And so I'm very interested to see what price does when it comes back into this range. So I'll definitely keep my eyes on this range right here. Yeah, I no longer want to do that. I no longer want to do that. Mm. I mean, that's definitely going to price is definitely going to come back down there. Price is definitely coming back down there. You know what, Alfred? I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. Mm. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about kind of doing the same thing. I don't know if y'all guys are familiar with Gracie's Corner and how her dad set her up like that to be a big YouTube sensation, just singing nursery rhymes for children and stuff like that. I was thinking about probably doing the same thing with my daughter, but then I thought about it as well. I mean, that's cute. A lot of these child stars are fucking crazy. I think we talked about that too. I definitely want to instill business intelligence into my daughter for sure. I want her to be strong and feminine. Strong yet feminine. Understands her role in life. She doesn't need to be a girl boss, but she will be a girl boss. If you get my drift. Not the ones that are just like, oh, I'm boss. I have 10 degrees. You should listen to me. No, we're just talking about a girl that just has presence. And she doesn't need to flaunt or anything, her degrees or her education. You just kind of know when she steps into the room where she knows exactly what the hell she's talking about. And she doesn't have to prove herself to anybody. But I just have to do that little balancing act because I don't want her to accomplish too much at a young age because I find with children especially if you don't let them be children then they grow up with these problems missing out. Oh, I didn't get a childhood or I didn't experience the ignorance of life. I guess people just like being ignorant. One thing that's kind of always kind of stuck with me, and I don't know if this is no longer true, but this is something that I heard at least when I was growing up about Asians and their parenting styles is that they allow their children to be a tornado, just reckless up until a certain point, and then they got them studying hard so they can have their childhood where they're not being disciplined, they're just getting in trouble and yada yada blah blah blah. And then once they get to a certain point, then it's okay. Now that shit is over. Let's get to the studying. Let's get to these books. And I guess that can be a balance. Because I mean, like I said, if you don't allow a kid to be a kid, then they kind of grow up crazy. They're trying to find their childhood in their adulthood. I didn't believe the whole I didn't believe the whole your childhood shapes your adulthood thing. I thought that was kind of crazy because I was just using myself as an example. And then I realized that a lot of my childhood did spill into my adulthood. And I've already shared that with you. Just growing up, poverty is definitely a trauma. And that was, I guess, without really realizing it, because I wasn't consciously getting over it. I was just kind of, I just had a driving force that says, well, I know what being I know what being poor feels like. So shit, let's be rich. I mean, that was what was driving me. It wasn't, oh, I don't want to be poor anymore. So now I'm moving forward. It was, I don't want to be here no more. So I'm just gonna figure out a way and just keep trying until I get it right. And that's how I saw it. So it wasn't until I started to kind of do that inner work was like, wow, there was a lot of stuff that I was blinding myself from. A lot of my self sabotaging was from my childhood because there was a lot of things that I just accepted to be true. And even though they weren't necessarily true anymore, I just accepted it. And that programming was always there. So, in order for that program to fulfill itself, I had to self sabotage for it to become a self fulfilling program. And it wasn't until I was like, okay. And I mean, there's still some things that execute now, which is like, wow, like why is that still executing? It's nothing serious or nothing, but it's just stupid code that's obviously from my childhood that executes, and it's like I had to correct it, and it's minor, but and now I'm just noticing it, and it's like, wow. I had a conversation with my brother, and I guess I was holding so much in and didn't realize it that when I was having this conversation with our brother about our childhood, I just kind of was like, yeah, we didn't fucking deserve any of that shit at all. We didn't deserve that shit. And I did not know where that came from. And that was just kind of the solidification like, okay, yeah, I guess your childhood does bleed into your adulthood. It does. It does. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not depressed about being rich. I mean, I'm well off. I guess no, my thing is just being I just don't want to be in a position where I don't have anything meaningful to do. Don't get me wrong. I can, like I said, I can do so much with this stream. So much. I mean, there's things about the market that I know to be true that a lot of people misunderstand. And I can do that. Oh, I mean, my concern is I don't know what's on the other side of that wall. I don't know what's on the other side of that door if I open it. And I just don't want to be a loser. I just don't want to be a loser. I don't want to. And what I mean by being a loser, I just don't want to wake up and not have nothing meaningful to do, nothing to work for, nothing to strive for. Because honestly, I'm not interested in the spotlight. Really, I'm not interested in that. It's never been an interest to me. Uh, It just seems like if you kind of had an okay, if you had friends growing up, if you had solid relationship, if you've gotten the results that you wanted with women, uh, the desire to push past limits are just not there. The only people in society that has those are the people that are trying to make up for their childhood. And I'm not saying all, but majority just don't have those drivers. I just don't. So if I keep creating a reason to just play this game, because if I win it, then shit. I mean, I already know I can win it. I've already proven that I can win it. But if I just keep winning, well, it's like, well, shit. Well, up another winner. Oh man, another winner. Another winner. Another winner. And then you just gotta. Then I'll find myself making shit up. Like I kind of do it now. That's what I'm saying. That with the self sabotage, I take very dangerous trades. Trades that when I was learning, I wouldn't have taken. I wouldn't taken the trades that I take now today. Trading without because as the market is going down, if I identify an area of support and I buy there, I mean shit, either it can bounce or I can get stopped out. When I was learning, I would have never taken that trade. I would have waited for this double top before actually getting in the move. Getting in when there's no structure makes it more challenging. And I guess it makes it a game because I can lose, if that makes sense. If I win all the time, then man, it's not even a game anymore. It's just okay. I can just and if that's the case, I can just put on a bot and just have it just trade. And I mean, if that's what I was truly after, but it's not. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like I said, I think I'll stop self sabotaging when I finally vocalize my mission. When I finally vocalize the mission, I think that's when I'll self sabotage. I'll stop. I'll allow myself to move forward once I vocalize the mission. But I am procrastinating on that mission. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not. I am procrastinating. I am definitely taking my time. But there's definitely been a lot of growth. I will say that. Mm. I don't want to just. I kind of just want to know. Yeah, I don't know what the heck gold wants to do. Well, I mean, it's obviously that it's going down. Gold is obviously now in a downtrend. We got a double top on the higher time frame. So, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what gold right now because it's obvious that it wants to short now. Gold definitely wants to short. Is that we just broke a trend line on gold. Oh shit! Speaking of trend lines, off topic, and it's not hate or anything, but for whatever reason, I've been getting I guess the biggest controversy going on right now is that Tori trades, a female trader that trades platinum, lost 250K in her personal account. What's like? Why is everybody like? Why does anybody care about that? I mean, that type of shit happens. When that shit popped up in my feed and I watched like a few minutes of it, I was trying to figure out why does anybody else care? I mean, it's obvious that she went tilt and she made a mistake. I mean, shit, you don't lose $250 and that's something. I mean, if you lose $250, I mean, being trading on tilt is probably what happened there. You didn't want to take a loss. You kept adding to a position that didn't need to be added to. And by the time you cut it, I mean, shit, he was like, damn, I'm down 250. Now, now I guess I have to. I mean, being down 250, I mean, you kind of have to do a lot of over leveraging to get that money back, or you're going to have to spend a lot of time on the charts to slowly get that money back. Either way is not going to be fun, either way. But I really don't understand why anybody is, except for her, cares. And I think that's probably like one of the biggest things because it seems like, I mean, Patrick is probably the biggest streamer right now in this space. And he got that way just being, just in your face, controversial. And I have no desire to be that way. And if drama in the trading realm gets people's attention, well, yeah, I would believe that. I mean, female traders have it easy. They definitely have it easy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Cave Trade, I was kind of thinking about it this weekend. Like, what is it about losing that just makes me want to punch the market? Like, it just makes me want to go Rambo and paint under my eyes and go into the algorithm just to, what is it about losing? Because I mean, I tried thinking about it. I mean, it's obviously not the money. It's obviously the fact, the principle of losing because I've it's and then here's the crazy thing. When I was trading size, I would be down $2,000 at a time, $3,000 and uh get it back. I'm only losing 800 with my current strategy, I'm only losing $180 per trade and I find myself losing my mind. Like not necessarily, but wanting to. Like it's like, okay, I have to remind myself to calm down or I'm just going to get angry and potentially, revenge against the market just to get that money back. And it's only $180. It's not even going to blow the account or nothing. And like I said, I have a 1 to 2, so I can lose twice and then my third win brings me back to break even. So I'm trying to figure out like what is it really? I can understand it could be my ego, but I'm not that egotistical of a person. I mean, I don't like losing. I'm not a loser, but I just don't know why it's just hard or it's a challenge just to accept that there's going to be losing trades. I can't control the market. I can only predict if it's going to go up or down or sideways. I can that's all I can do, and I can just put my order, my target and my stop, and everything else is in the market's hands. And if I lose, I mean, at least it tells me that okay, I mean, I just took a loss. Obviously, the market is not going in the direction that I think it's going in. Now I can kind of just I now have a better understanding of which side of the market to trade on, but I don't see it that way. It's red alert, red alert. I just took a loss. Let's try to find the fastest way of getting my money back. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true. It is definitely a mindset shift for sure. It's definitely a shift in mindset. It definitely is. Well, shit, Cave Trader. That's exactly what I'm. I don't know, man. I feel like I just have a bunch of cold. Well, I feel like this could be just for everybody, but maybe it's just the fear of not being able to achieve your goal or having the goal out of. Because I mean, a loss is a step. I guess a loss is a step back, but uh, a big step forward for me was focusing more long term. That's definitely for sure. Should we talk about psychology on this stream a lot? And and like I said before, I mean I shared this with you guys, so maybe this is something that you're going through, or maybe you don't know what you're going through, and maybe it can help. Because I mean, I'm a very self confident person, and making myself vulnerable doesn't mean, and that's the crazy thing. I can make myself vulnerable and still feel confident, but if I take a loss and it's like, whatever part of me loses my mind, like, oh my god, I got to get my money back. It doesn't feel right. It's not a comfortable feeling going into the day with the loss. And there is a lot of reasons for it. If you really think about it, the market moves in both directions every day. If you get a loss, the market before it closes does give you plenty of opportunities to make that money back. How you make that money back is another conversation, but uh your setup shows up at least 2 or 3 times in a day. That definitely is true, especially if you're a Nasdaq trader. Your setup shows up at least 2 or 3 times a day. Unless you have a day where the market just crashes out and then okay, yeah. But I'm trying to get on that same level with you, Cave Trader. Trying to get on that same level as you with the being okay with losses and just letting the strategy play out because I back test every weekend. And dude, on gold, my setup on gold, it didn't I if I took the setup all week on gold, I wouldn't have lost at all. I've had I think I had 3 winning trades last week on gold. I missed 2. I don't trade on Fridays, but I wasn't paying attention to gold when my setup actually happened on Monday, I think, but I think I was able to get winning trades on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I stopped trading on Thursday. Yeah, I think no. It was either I know I had 3 wins last week. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. I had 3 wins last week, and I just closed up shop on Thursday, and I back tested all weekend, and my strategy worked. My break and pullback on gold was consistent all last week. Break, pullback, break, pullback. I got this trade right here, break and pullback. I was able to capture this short. Actually, I was able to capture it long, and I flipped and captured it short. Break, pullback. I mean, the break and pullback trade on gold is almost like a cheat code, man. It's a cheat code. A break and pullback is a cheat code on gold, and because it has to do it. A break and pullback, because gold is a low liquidity item. You see a range, you see a break, you trade the pullback. I mean, it's so simple. It's simple. You just have to be patient for it. Like once that breakout happened around like 12 o'clock and it came back around 7 o'clock. I mean, it took 7 hours, 6 hours, but I mean, this is the trade right here. And then it broke out, breaks, pullback right here. When I see the gold does this crap right here, I stop looking at it because I know that this is just the market stopping itself out, and we'll see the correction soon. Once I see the correction, like, okay, cool, it corrected. Break, pullback, break, pullback, break, pullback. I mean, that's the only trade you need on gold for sure, if in my opinion. And I wouldn't have lost not one trade last week if I traded Monday or if I traded the whole entire week. I don't know why I have that. I mean, a lot of the rules that I have for Nasdaq, I kind of project that onto gold, even though I don't need to. But I'm just going to keep doing it because it just doesn't feel right emotionally because I've traded Nasdaq for so long. I mean, them same Nasdaq rules I projected onto gold. Yeah. You reprogrammed your brain to love red days. Mm, we'll get it right. And this is another good thing right here. We got a range, a break, a pullback into that range, and a drop. I mean, gold is it's pretty simple. Pretty simple to trade gold. Just this crazy biatch Nasdaq. Like I said, I'm not gonna have this running overnight. I'll come back tomorrow and see how the market reacts at this area right here. Um, but all right, guys. I guess that's it for me tonight. And the market's not necessarily doing anything. Uh, we may see price kind of break maybe this low. We may see a double bottom retest here, which is, I mean, it's highly unlikely, but we possibly could see it. I mean, it doesn't look that way. It looks like, at least with this leg, we still have some upside or potentially some upside, but we probably have to see what happens going into tomorrow's session, especially because we don't have any news today or tomorrow or Tuesday. We could potentially see a lot of chop. We could potentially see a lot of fake outs. And with this CFTC data suggesting that the institutions have drastically reduced their position sizing to 15,000 net long this week, being 55% long and 45% short. That's definitely not going to be, that's definitely not a good sign for this week. So we're definitely going to keep that in mind. But I appreciate all those that joined tonight. We'll definitely come back tomorrow, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.